to our new database, which will transform how we've been collecting your au pair applications. I am going to show you today how to sign the agreement for any new year. The program is called ExchangIT or ExchangIT, and you will receive an email with your username and login information, where you can also click to get into the new system. As soon as you log in for the first time, you will be greeted by your user account. Please go ahead and update all of your information that's in here. You can change your password, and also add more contact information. When you're done, go and hit save at the bottom. You will get a little message that will pop up saying that it has successfully saved. Now you are going to land on your dashboard, which we are still updating, but should have messages of items that you need to take action upon. So anytime something comes in that tells you to do something, you will also find notifications in this little bell in the corner where you can see all the activity that has been going on with your au pairs. You will also receive email notifications for each au pair as they progress along their application process. The way this database works is that there are different tabs across the top that you will find useful. So the first one is your dashboard. The next one is your au pairs. You will see a list of your au pairs, or you can add an au pair. The next one is matches. This will be a list of all of your au pair matches. Then we have agreements, which will take you to your agreement for the year or past agreements. Also, there is edit agency information and users, where you can add new users to your account if you hire a new ops person. Today, I'm going to show you about how to sign the agreement. As you can see, CHI has sent you a new agreement for 2026, and you can click on this View button, and what will happen is you will be greeted with a sidebar of different information about that particular agreement. And first, you will see all of the agreement information. So we ask that you add anything that is missing. These first few items are things that we at CHI probably don't know, so that's why it was left blank. And we ask that you update it. Are you an IAPA member? What country are you from? What countries do you recruit from? And you can add multiple countries if you recruit from several different countries. Like this person is recruiting from Canada, but also from Mexico. And you just click the countries that you are recruiting from. Going down, you will see the bonuses that are in this agreement for this year. Right now we're looking at a 2026 agreement. Also, we have our bonuses and some fees laid out here. Again, we don't charge any sort of fee for cancellations before arrival. And then underneath here is the information that you charge the au pairs as a program fee. So in this case, let's say you charge your au pair $1,000, and your deposit is $500, and then the balance is $500. You can write anything else in the notes. Here we have you select the type of services that you offer to your au pairs, and you can select any or all of them. And then there's more spaces for comments, and also if you have a refund policy, please let us know what that is for the au pairs. The Department of State asks to know this information, so it's important that you fill it out. If you get to the bottom and you see that the save is not clickable, it means you've missed something. If you look to the right, you can see a list. Items in green have been completed, items in red still need to be completed, and items in blue are optional. So we see this one is not completed. You can click on it, it'll take you to that section. And then you say, okay, this was completed, this was completed. Scroll down and see this red box here. It means this one is not completed. Other services covered. You can just write none in there or anything, and that will solve the issue. Now when you go to the bottom, you should be able to hit save. And now you have finalized filling out the information for the contract. Now you're going to go to your sidebar and click on Contract and Signatures to view the actual contract and to sign it. And here you can see the actual contract. It will have all your information already entered into it and the dates. And it's the same as our previous contracts. If you're a recurring partner, same text as before. Nothing has changed this year, but these can change as time goes on. Also, you'll see a list of the bonuses in there and a bunch of other information. All you need to do is sign the bottom, and don't forget to click this little box that says that you certify your signature, and click sign. So now you have signed the contract for 2026 as this is, and your signature should appear at the bottom. Next on the sidebar, you can see the business downloads page, and we are asking that all of our partners upload a copy of their business license. So you can just click on browse, find it on your computer, and upload it into this folder. The last thing on here is bonuses, and in the future, when you have au pairs that are earning bonuses for you, they should appear in that page. Now I have gone ahead and added just any document to represent your business license. And the next step is to go back to information and see how it says Submit App. So click on that and you'll see a banner at the top that says your application is ready for review. Submit your application for sponsor verification and approval. So that is you submitting this to CHI with your signature, and go ahead and click submit. Yes. And now your your contract has been sent to CHI for approval and our counter signature. Once we click on your contract, we can sign it and we will send it back to you so that you have both signatures in your records for the future. Now that you have signed the contract and CHI has countersigned the contract, you are ready to start adding au pairs. To do this, go to your au pair tab and click on Add Au Pair. This will take you to the page where you can begin entering your au pair's information. So you are going to add the beginning information for your au pair. Then you will add your interview notes, the structured interview and the challenging situations part of the interview that you have completed with the au pair prior to their application. And then once you have filled out this basic information, you will create a user account for this au pair. They will receive a login information, and they will be able to log into the program and fill out the rest of the application. So after they fill out the full application, your agency, will be able to, the au pair will submit the application to you. Then you will review the application and the references and submit the final application to CHI. To begin, you're going to add the contract for this year. You're going to enter the au pair's name. We're going to call this au pair Rafaela Martinez as an example. You will put in their email, their gender, their birth date. To change dates quickly, you can click on the year to skip back to a different year, month, and day. You will add their birth city, birth country, country of citizenship. Remember to select the actual country once you search for it, and their country of residence. Now you can add their address, and first you would search by country, and then the address bar, if you begin typing it in, will start listing addresses. It should work around the world. So select the correct address. Here you can add their contact information. We're going to add an international phone number, but if you saw below, there are many options. You could add another email, you could add their WhatsApp number, you can add a variety of different types of contact information. Like here, I'm going to add their WhatsApp. I'm going to change it back to Mexico. Down below is the spot for their availability dates. So I'm just going to say she's available from today. And you can add a last available date, but we don't recommend it because sometimes they get crossed over and host families see it and they think, oh, she's not really available anymore, even though it just timed out. So it's an optional. If they are saying they want to go start school in 5 months, if they don't get matched by then you would put in a last availability date. This is their airport of departure. Unfortunately, when I was creating this video, it was not working at the moment. It should be working very soon. And then there's a spot at the bottom for their emergency contacts. You know, I put in Maria Mother, but you should put in their actual name. Their relationship is mother and their phone number. Then once you have completed this, go ahead and hit save. And now you have officially entered an au pair into our database. And it will open up the au pair list where you can now see your au pair. And there will be, all of your au pairs will be on this list. And on here you can see their name, their email, and their application status, which is started. It's missing information. This database works with columns of information, and if you want to change the columns around so that you see less or see more information, you can click on this little gear in the corner right over here. It's a gear, table settings, and then you can click on and off different columns that you prefer to see. You can also move them around from left to right if you want to move one to the beginning. Over here on the left are action buttons. This is where you can take actions. So if you scroll over them, they'll tell you what they are. This one is Edit Au Pair, and this one is Complete Challenging Situations and Structured Interview to enable the profile. So we're going to click on that because we need you, before you create an account for the au pair, we need you to enter the interview information, the structured interview. What you can see on the left is the application sidebar. And this is a list of all the application items that need to be completed eventually. Some of them are done by you, some of them are done by the au pair. The orange circles mean that they still need to be completed, while the green check marks mean that they have already been completed. So you currently are about to enter their structured interview. And again, this is the interview that you do with the au pair before submitting them to CHI, just to find out more information about them and see if they are qualified to be an au pair applicant. I have gone ahead and filled out the structured interview, the first part of the interview. It basically talks about the au pair's background, family background, how they get along with the rest of their family, and their lifestyle, their beliefs, their personality, their friendships, their romantic relationships, how they feel, how everyone feels about this person coming on the au pair program, their comfortability with childcare in a brief way. We ask them in more detail in their application. And so then once you fill that out, hit save, and that will bring you to the next section, which is the challenging situations, where it's kind of more descriptive answers to some important questions about, how do they feel about homesickness, and what kind of family challenges are they expecting, or challenges with children. This is, again, the same structured interview that we have always provided as part of our application for those of you who are recurring partners. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this out, and I'll be right back. Okay, here you can see that it is filled out with basically notes that you have taken during your interview with the au pair. And now we're going to hit save. And it has brought us back to the au pair information page, the general information. Across the top, you'll begin to see some banners. They are instructions and details about what's going on, what are the next steps, what are you waiting for. This one says the application has started and it's in its initial stages. And you can see on the sidebar that some of the check marks are starting to be filled out. You can see that before we get to the inactive, there are the structured interview, part 1 and 2, that you have completed. The information that you entered is checked off, and the rest of it is what the au pair needs to do. So we have all of the agreements at the top, and then the rest of the items further down the sidebar. Now you can see this, which says make au pair inactive. So that is now giving you access to basically cancel an au pair's application. If they decide they don't want to be an au pair anymore, if it's taken too long to match, maybe they've aged out, maybe they decided to go back to school, but for whatever reason they no longer want to be an au pair, you can come in and go to this au pair's application and click on Make Inactive. So now we're going to create a user for the au pair. And you can search for your au pairs in that top search bar, or you can click on this blue action button that says Create User for au pair. And we're going to proceed. And actually, what happens is you don't have to do anything. The database has now sent an email to your au pair applicant telling them that you have created a login for them in our ExchangIT system, and it will send them their username and their password, a temporary password that they can use to log in. They can update their account, but mostly this will grant them access to the application so that now they can go ahead and start completing all the items that are required of them. Please make sure to instruct your au pairs to update their profile information when they first log in. So again, when they click edit, they'll see something very similar on their side. They can edit their application and they will be led to start signing their agreements and filling out the rest of the application. And basically they just have to click on each item. Sometimes it will lead them automatically to the next item. But here's their general au pair promise and agreement. Please make sure to tell the au pairs to read this thoroughly. It's important that they do read all the content. Other items in the application is their background information, their driving experience, all of the items that are required by the DOS to fill out. And I just want to talk to you quickly about the references, which is, the age groups that they are comfortable with. But the references is really important that you understand how it works so that you can instruct the au pairs. Basically, when they click on this, there's going to be a button where they can add a reference. So remember, character reference, you need 1 character reference and 2 childcare references minimum. If they want, they can add more than that. To add a reference, the au pair will add the name of the referee. So in this example, we're going to be sending an email to somebody named Laura Garcia. And oops, I put her last name in the wrong place. Garcia. And we're going to enter an email for Laura Garcia. We're going to add her phone number. And remember, this is the character reference that we're sending, so we only need to send 1. And then we're going to save. And very important, after you save, you hit Send Email Request. And that will send an email with a reference questionnaire to Laura Garcia. She will get it in her personal email with a quick button to click. She will fill out the reference and then sign it and send it back. And then once it comes back, the au pair and you will be able to view what she wrote in the reference form and make sure that there are no issues. And remember, for the childcare references, we need 2 at minimum. The au pair can add as many as they like. They can also delete them using the garbage can button. And it's the same system. Add the name, save them, and press the send email request to them. And then they will receive an email, they will fill it out, they will send it back for your review. At that point, you, as the agency, will be able to contact them and review what they've written, give them a call, verify everything is true. Then you would sign it, and then it all gets submitted to CHI once the application is complete. I want to go ahead and show you what the au pair will see when they log into their portal for the first time. This that we're looking at is their dashboard, where they will receive a nice welcome message with instructions and some information. And they will also see at the top a banner that tells them how to begin their application. This one says that they should go to their promise and agreement and begin. If they scroll down, they'll see more of their dashboard. This area basically has their pre-arrival forms and their post-arrival forms. So everything they will need to complete during their program is listed on these two tabs. You can see at the top all their application documents. Then as they match, there will be new items that will light up. This is their au pair host family agreement, which will be filled out first by their host family, and then it will light up, indicating that the au pair is ready to sign it as well. Then there are pre-arrival documents, like how to get their visa, their online training, their insurance, their arrival flight, and at the very bottom is the English assessment interview, which actually we will be removing that from there. The post-arrival forms, let's take a look quickly. There are all the forms that they need to fill out during their program once they've arrived in the US. So, for example, their 48-hour contact, their 2-week home visit, their quarterly reports, their end of program documents. There's a whole bunch there that will need to be completed during their program. But first things first, they need to complete their application. So they will begin by going to their promise and agreement. And again, it's really important that they read through this whole thing so that they really understand what they're getting into with this program, the rules, the regulations. And then at the bottom, they will sign their name and click the little box at the bottom and then save. And that is how they sign an agreement, and it brings them automatically to their next one, which is their arbitration agreement, privacy policy, the return home acknowledgement, and move on from there. One thing I want to talk to you about is this item here, compatibility match characteristics. So this is new to our application form. And what it is that CHI has built our own AI system, and this form is connected to it. So throughout the form, we ask the au pair different items, different interests, different hobbies about their lifestyle and their choices and preferences, and they would fill it out, and then that information is fed into our AI system, which is called Lucy. The host family also, all of our host families fill out a similar compatibility form. So the AI system knows what their preferences are for the program. So let's say your au pair is doing this and she says that she really enjoys horseback riding. And then at the same time, one of our host families selects that they really like horseback riding. Then, when that family finishes their application and works through our AI, the AI system would think about recommending Rafaela, our example au pair here, to that family. And this is really great for au pairs who maybe got a little lost in the system. Maybe there wasn't one thing in particular that stood out about them, and so no family has really requested to match with them. With this, an au pair that's been in there a long time could still come up as a recommendation for a family when they are a new family application. So we think that this will really help speed up matches and help other people who have been waiting for matches for a while. At this point, there's another item I want to talk about, which is the au pair uploads. So most of our application has become digital, but there are still some paper documents that we require, and this is where they get uploaded. So for instance, here's their medical form, their profile picture, their photo album for the host family, their letter for the host family, their criminal background check police record, their high school graduation certificate, their copy of their passport image and a picture of their driver's license, and then also where there will be a place here for their visa once they attain it. So now your au pair is going to be going through their application and filling it out and making sure all of the check marks are completed. You'll see here that the structured interview that you did with them is not visible to the au pair. So if you write something in there that is a red flag, they won't be able to see, and that will all be fine. I am going ahead and filling out the application here. And as I was coming through, I got to this section, personal information. And I just wanted to show you something about this. This page mostly is information about their smoking, drinking, pets that they're afraid of, allergies, diet. It's their personal information. But at the bottom is very important. There's a space to upload a YouTube video link. So this is where their video goes. And under that is a place to upload the number that they received from doing the psychometric test, which is still through our third-party company. So we will still, for now, be giving you instructions in paper that you can share with the au pair on how to complete the psychometric test, and then they would just upload their number here. Now, this might change in the future. So if it looks different now from how you're seeing it in this video, it's because we've already been discussing moving the psychometric test and video to a different location. This whole database has been built in-house by our ExchangIT team. So it is very flexible to us, and as we progress, we can make changes. So at this point, the application has been completed by the au pair. They have all of their green check marks completed, including the character reference and the childcare references. They're checked off for the au pair because their referees filled out the email and sent it back with their signature. So now the au pair needs to submit their application to your agency. And there's a banner at the top, or they can go to Information Submit App. And again, at the top is a banner that tells them your application is ready to submit to your agency. Please review and approval. They'll hit submit and send it to your agency for review. And to wait for further updates. So going back to your agency view, first of all, you will receive an email notification that tells your agency or you that your au pair has submitted their application for review and approval. There are some reminders, make sure it's accurate and complete and everything's been uploaded, and that you will need to submit it to CHI once you've reviewed the application. So you would go back to your list of au pairs and again find your au pair, Rafaela Martinez, and you can see her application status. It says submitted by au pair. So you can also filter by hitting those little wine glasses to find those applicants that have been submitted. Now you're going to click on that orange circle that was edit au pair, and you can begin reviewing the application. So it's best if you just kind of go through each item of the application and read through it, make sure it's filled out completely, make sure it's, you know, correct, basically. And then you can also go down and check their uploads. You can make sure that all of their documents have been uploaded. And to quickly view them, you can click this little blue eye and it will show you the item in that folder. Or you can click that little down arrow to download it onto your computer if you'd like to. Now, the last thing you need to do is check the references. So you go first to the character reference and click on that to access the review. And you can see now there's a new blue button here called Review Reference Information. So when you click on that, it will open up the reference information. And just ignore those little pop-ups, that shouldn't happen. But you can see here that this was their personal reference, character reference, Laura, and you can go ahead and review her information. Remember that this cannot be done by direct family members. It must be other people. They don't have to work together, or it's a character reference, so they don't have to take care of children. This was her coworker. She wrote some nice things about her in here, about her personality and how long they've known each other, and would they recommend them for an au pair program. And then you can see at the bottom is her signature. You, as the agency, need to reach out to this person and give them a call. Here's a place for their contact information at the top, plus they added extra contact information down below. They may add their WhatsApp or a different way to contact them. But we'd like for you to contact them and verify that everything is accurate and make sure that they're a real reference. And then once you've verified that, you will come back to the reference and sign the bottom and save it. And then now we're going to check out the childcare references. So if you click on childcare references, remember they need a minimum of 2. So you're going to review the first one. This was Lana O'Mara, and make sure that she's not a family member or anything. She will list that this applicant was her past au pair, and she took care of her children between the ages of 3 and 5. There were none under the age of 2 and none with special needs. Here's child number 1 was Timmy, and she worked with him for 100 hours between the ages of 2 and 5 and 100 hours between 5 and 10. Child number 2 is Susie, and she took care of her the same hours and ages. So definitely not infants. Then the child care reference referee will fill out the duties that this au pair did while working for her, her special skills and her personality traits, and then she'll write some other information about her. Again, you're going to review everything, contact her, verify that everything is true and accurate, and then go ahead and sign this one. And don't forget that there are 2. So now you're going to click on the second reference, Kimberly, and now you can review her information. And again, same process. In this case, this was somebody in Mexico that this au pair applicant assisted her class. This one was her supervisor, and she took care of children from the age of 1 to 3, and they were under 2. So here it was a group of 20 children and she worked 300 hours with the ages 0 to 2 and 100 hours from ages 2 to 5. So that does make her infant qualified because she has more than 200 hours of experience with children under the age of 2. The reference will fill out the rest of this information. Hopefully there's no red flags and everything looks good. She signed. So you're going to contact her, verify, and then sign this one as well. And now all of her references have been signed by you, so they now have green check marks. Hooray. So now we can see that pretty much everything in this application has been checked off. The last thing on here actually will probably be moved. It's regarding the promotional profile, which is the profile that we put both on our website and on our database for host families to review. The promotional profile combines all the au pair's information to present to the host families. And these are put together by CHI, not by you. I believe they're on this list so that you can view them if you'd like to, but I don't think you have much editing capability on those. So CHI makes those and creates them, and then you can tell us if they need to be changed. Okay, so now we're ready for you to submit the application to CHI. So if you go to that info section, you'll get this banner to send it for approval. You hit submit, and now the banner says pending ops approval. That's CHI operations. And the au pair application has been submitted to ops and is pending approval. So at this point, the au pair has submitted the application to you. You have reviewed it. You have sent it to CHI. Now CHI is going to review it. Then we are going to reach out to the au pair to set up their English assessment interview that we do with each applicant. And our IT team has built into this program, ExchangIT, our very own call program, similar to Zoom. So CHI will be reaching out to your au pair to schedule a sort of a Zoom interview through our program here. And you will get notified of those as well. The au pair will accept it. Then the interview will take place through the Zoom. We will enter the interview, basically approving this au pair. Once they're approved, we're going to create their promotional profile, and then the au pair is ready to go. I think we will have a button that says we approve this application, and then you'll be notified of that as well. So at that point, the au pair is ready for host families to view them. They'll be available on our website, in the database for our families that have signed our agreement, and that's how the application submitting process goes. So I thank you so much for joining me for this video. As always, please reach out to us with any questions or ideas or concerns, anything at all. We're CHI Au Pair Ops at chinet.org. You should have our email address. And I hope that you enjoy this new database. It's still a bit under construction, but we really feel that it's going to speed up the process in some ways and keep our data much more organized and happy. So thank you again, and happy recruiting.